Hey everyone, it's Friday. It's Mary Ann from the New York City Retirees. Happy Friday. It is October 3rd. Okay, let's see what we can do to put everything news-wise in the beginning. So I've got my trusty list here. You all have been sending me a million questions that your ballots have come in and you wanted to know what to do for mayor. We are still working on that. And what we're trying to do now is in the next couple of weeks, because you've got about a month before, you actually have a month tomorrow for the election. And we want to try to get those candidates, all of them that are left, on our show. So I will be scheduling that with our team. And as they commit, I will let you know. As soon as one does, I will tell you, and you can put it on your calendar, because we are really going to start moving now, because we know that with your absentee ballots, you need to make a decision and they've got to get in. Okay. Let's see. Today I posted a video. It's late, so it's Friday, and you're not really going to be able to do much about it. But it's our new video is called Yo Adrian, and since Eric Adams is making a point that he's not going to help us with our legislation, the only one left is Adrian. So you saw I posted it today. It's on YouTube. I will start spreading it around. What you do need to do is starting Monday. And if Anne is watching in here anywhere, I know Anne likes to robo-dial phone calls and go to town. So I gave you two phone numbers, her legislative office, and I also gave you her South Ozone Park office. You are free to call that number all day long. All day long, Anne. I know that'll make you so excited. You could call Speaker Adams all day long. And the ask is, please put 1096 to a hearing. Why? Because she did say that she wants to hear both sides. This is a democratic process, and we're entitled to be heard. And we are. So please make those calls. I know, Anne, I knew you were gonna love that. You are welcome to call her all day long. You can call her all weekend long until their voicemails are all jammed up. But I mean, try to call on Monday. Take the weekend and relax, because Monday starts homework. So that will be and do that every single day. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go, call the speaker today. Let's run Yo Adrian. So enjoy that one. Curtis said he would. So, Elena, I had asked them several times. They have not committed to me. I'm hoping that they will now, because now we're down to the wire. Adrian really must hear us. Yo, Adrian, here we come. Absolutely. And it was a cute video. I actually had fun making that one. I was just telling our advisor that if I could ever retire from this, that might actually be my second calling. But okay, so we talked about the mayor's election. We're trying to get all the candidates on. I told you about Yo Adrian. Start calling the speaker's office and requesting that she put our bill to a hearing. Our website. So let's break this down, because this now starts getting into some of the things I want to show you that we've been doing. So our website, I put up this little thing here that just tells you that we updated our page, and there is this new little update. And when you go onto that page, it'll say update, new update, search for your doctor in the new NYC PPO plan for our new on our new Medicare retiree page. So if you see up here, or if you're using a cell phone, it'll look a little different. It'll be up on the right-hand side, but we put a pre-Medicare retiree page. Now, let's say this straight out. Several of you keep thinking that this is a Medicare related plan. It is not. And so we made sure that we put the official information, like it's on the city page. And this says that this NYCE PPO plan is for active workers and pre-Medicare retirees. This plan does not apply to you if you are on Medicare. End of story. If you're on Medicare and you don't have younger dependents who are on the pre-Medicare plan, that only if you have younger dependents should you pay attention to this. If you don't, this isn't your page. You come back up here and hold on a second. Why is that not following me? Hold on. Let me find out why that's not following me. It should be following. Oh, it's because I'm on the wrong page. So you want to be on the pre-Medicare retiree page. Let me see if that. Yep, that's going perfect. Okay, so this is the page that you want to be on for the pre-Medicare people. If you are on Medicare, like I said, this plan does not affect you. And if you don't have younger dependents, it doesn't affect you. Then you want to go over to the Medicare page. And right now, there really hasn't been too much here, to update you on. We'll get to the other tabs in a moment, but let's just jump back quickly to the new plan. So this is the official page of the city of New York. We took everything that's on their page. We'll make sure it stays updated, but it literally brings you to the plan. It answers your questions. There's also some FAQs down here that you can take your time and read over the weekend, or just literally go to the official link, right? So I want to bring you there because we think that's important for you to look at. Let me, go to this page, share this tab instead. Okay, so now this is the official Emblem Health United Healthcare page, and it tells you about the plan. This would be the start of your official portal. It tells you some interesting facts for whatever, and then quality coverage in New York and nationwide. And here you can search your providers. Now, underneath this, it says, we have completed the October 3rd directory update. If you previously tried to search the directory and didn't find your provider, we encourage you to try again. See that? And then right underneath that is some helpful tips on searching for medical providers. Please check that out. That would also help you to make sure that you're searching correctly. Down here is searching for mental health, behavioral health providers. And this talks more about the network. And then here's the brochures that they just put out to the union. You'll see those if you're DC 37 or UFT had put those out as well. So you can search. There's more FAQs down here. Now, I want to go back to our page. I want to go back to our page for a moment. If after you've searched your doctors on this page using the search your medical provider link, and let's see if that opens. You can search by provider type, healthcare facility, provider name, right? And then here where there's an asterisk, meaning it's a mandatory search item. So you have to complete that in order for it to be filled, to populate. And then of course you want to click accepting new patients, because it's important. If they can't see you, then that's another issue too. Put your zip code, your state, and then down here, hold on, I just screwed up my screen. And then down here, you should push this up in mileage so that you can get an idea of where. If you start out low, like 5 or 10 miles from your house, and you don't see anything, you might want to bump it up a little bit and then click find. So for example, you would click this. Let's see if I look for, come back up. I'll click provider. And then we'll put in, I don't know, geriatric medicine, because I'm feeling old these days. And then I'll put in a zip code. Like where our bookkeeper is, and see if we can find any geriatric providers that are accepting new patients in the town of Fayetteville, Georgia. And unfortunately, it tells me that there's none found. So if you go back up and change the specialty, you can put, let's see, is he the EFG? Let's go to family medicine. Let's see if they find something like that. And that doesn't find anything either in 10 miles. So let's bump that up to 50 and see if it finds anything within 50 miles of that zip code. And it still doesn't find anything. But if it does, maybe you'll be lucky and you can find some doctors. Let's try a New York zip code. And let's do within 5 miles of that zip code, because that's Lower Manhattan. I think they'll find something there. Okay, so this does find providers. It found 390. There's 390 pages here. And so you can sort it by distance or provider name or zip code or city. And if you scroll down, you will see them start to list the doctor's offices and information. It'll say accepting new patients and primary care physician services available. And looks like they're all like that, which is good. They both have the same. Let's jump a bunch of pages down, and we're still seeing that. So at least you know if you're in the zip code of 1001, you have a lot of choices. Now, if for some reason you do not find a doctor on this page, what I want you to do is go back to our website, and I'm going to show you that in a second, and you can go and look for your providers there. You can fill in the chart that your providers are not in this network. If you see that your doctors are not in this network, but they're currently in GHI, we just add that question to the survey as well. And I just got a question. Katie, you're absolutely correct in bringing that to my attention. Let me jump back to that page, wherever that one went. Here we go. In that it does not say preferred provider, like we were looking at earlier today, which is interesting. View profile. Let's see if that comes up in the doctor profile that they're in network or out of network. So some of the ones we were looking at before actually showed another little icon that said preferred provider. These three, the ones on these page I'm not seeing. Affiliation. And it actually doesn't even say whether they're a preferred provider or not. So you can still tell that there's some issues with this website. And I'm still not seeing that icon on this list of pages. Oh, here's one. So this, did you guys see that? It flashed really quick. Let me see if I could find it again. It was so fast it disappeared. I know I saw it. Let's try another page. And see, and this is what's going to be the frustrating thing, but I'm going to ask you is to take your time with this and be patient, because this is really important. Yeah, see, Katie, I am not seeing any of these of being a preferred provider. And there isn't even an option to select that either. None of them have that purple icon. So I would still say denote that when you're doing the survey to see if any of those, this is so strange because this is literally Lower Manhattan. And I'm not seeing any in there that say preferred, accepting new patients, primary care services available. That's like phenomenal. Phenomenal is not in great as, phenomenal is in shocking. So we're still identifying that there's issues with this, right? And then I'll get into the issue part as well. Let's look at, Oh, she's giving me another example. Hold on. I'm looking at zip code 11042, pediatric medicine. So let's go to that so that way you guys could see what we were looking at before. Accepting new patients, and I want to change the zip code to 11042, which puts it in the New Hyde Park area. Let's go about 10 miles away. And see what it brings. Okay. Well, that's really interesting because I did not get what you got. 11042. Zip code is correct. I'm going to bump up the mileage and see if that makes a difference. Still nothing. You have pediatric emergency medicine. I just did pediatric. You see the difference in this, Katie? You didn't put in accepting new. I didn't put in accepting new patients, and I did 11001. But see, if they're not accepting new patients, then what's the purpose? That's the problem, because the doctors are in the network, but they can't see you. So what's the point if you can't see them? Okay, so let's try that, taking that you're still a current patient, 11001, which means they may not take you if you're new, or maybe another family member would need to see them, and that would be a problem. I really hate to say this to you, but I'm not getting anything 75 miles within 11001 pediatric. I'll try one more time and then I'm going to move on. You're saying pediatric emergency medicine, which is a little different of a specialty. And do you guys see now I'm playing with this and what it would do? Not checking off accepting new patients, making the acceptance that it's identified that you would be a current patient. But I want to hesitate there. If you're not searching doctors or new GPs, let's say yours is retires, but then there's your doctor retires and there's not another new pediatric doctor in the vicinity, you're going to have an issue. Now, this does come up with exactly what she was talking about. Preferred provider, but again, not accepting new patients. So you see that star that we weren't seeing on the others. That's something else to note. Now, here you see a doctor, Dr. Katz, is a preferred provider, is accepting new patients, and he also provides primary care physician services, okay? So clearly, let me come back to you. This is going to be something that you're going to have to keep working on and identifying what the limitations are. Is the doctor accepting new patients? Are they currently your doctor? Are you newly diagnosed with something and you need to find a doctor in this plan? If it doesn't say accepting new patients and you call the office and they won't see you, it's not a large as network as they're trying to tell you it is. So that's another concern as well, because they have to be accepting new patients for the network to be as real as they're saying it is. Otherwise, if your doctor passes away or moves away or retires, you're left without a provider in a great distance. That's need to be known as well, okay? This is why we've said to them, we need to know the parameters of the directory. We've asked them for a lot of information and we were denied all of it, including from the unions. Marianne says, which benefits are you talking about, GHI or United? This is in the network of the new NYC EPPO plan. So you need to go to the official link and search your providers there. This plan will be a crazy maker. Yes, it will. This, if if you were not with us 4 years ago, 4 and a half years ago, we went through exactly the same thing. This is what was driving me crazy this morning, and many of our moderators on our Facebook page, was because people were telling each other, and I don't like misinformation and I don't like wrong information going out. We give official information and factual information. By telling someone to go around the official information to find your answer, that's not the answer. The answer is you are supposed to go to the official link and search your providers. Don't send people to another link and search for doctors. They're supposed to be on this link, okay? Where our job also isn't to fix their mess. Our job is to tell whoever will be willing to listen, and if it has to be a judge, that they're rolling this out half-assed. The information is wrong. They're constantly fixing it. It's incorrect. It's not up to date. They're not accepting new patients. Your current doctors won't accept this new plan, or they won't accept new patients. This is the information that we have to be able to get out. If you're constantly taking this information and running to the people that screwed this up and rushed it out on purpose, telling them to fix it, you're only harming yourself, because what else did they screw up? So we're telling you, let us fill out the report on the survey that we gave you. Then you also have the open comment period on the email on the city's website that we also put on our website, because they're not having a hearing. I want you to know that in May, they went and changed the law so they didn't have to have a public hearing on this issue. Now they call it an open comment period, and you have to send your comments in an email to OLR. That's your open comment. That's your public hearing. That is so undemocratic and secretive that they just did this in May. For what purpose? To prevent you from having a true, real hearing. And that was what was supposed to happen under this process. Now, this will happen. This process, this email process for the public comment period, closes October 8th. You don't have a lot of time to find out some of the pitfalls of this plan, or that your doctors are not in this plan, and get that email out by October 8th before 5 p.m. After that, they will take that into consideration. They told us they're not making that information public, so we're not going to be able to see everyone else's comments. And then it goes to the comptroller for about 30 days. Okay? So this is why I keep telling you that there's a couple of people on our page that think that they were doing the right thing and wanted to be heroes and start telling people what to do to go around the process. There's a process in place for a reason. If you don't follow the process and you're telling people to go around, then the official process isn't work bupkis, and there's no guarantee that what you're telling those people to do will actually come to fruition in the official link on the official website. And then you need that data to be able to say, yes, I clicked the link. Because remember, if we end up moving, if the lawyers tell us we have a path to stop this or slow this down, you will need an affidavit that says, I went to the official link. The official link searched on their tool, their Find a Provider tool, and the tool says I didn't have a doctor. If the question is, did you go to the official website? Well, no, I went to the United Healthcare site. Well, then you didn't follow the directions. And then you're only hurting yourself, and I can't use that information. This organization can't use that information to help you try to file for a restraining order to slow this down. Then you will just be dumped into it, and there will not be anything I can do until you are literally harmed. And then we could try to go back to the court and demand that they fix it. But by that point, the horse is already out of the barn. What you want to do is slow it down and stop it before it starts. Make them fix it like we did to start to implement in the implementation of the Medicare Advantage plan. So don't think I'm crazy when I'm telling you, stop calling OLR and telling them to fix their crap. They have to fix their own crap, and they should have run a test to make sure that they knew that the plan was ready to roll. They're doing the same shit that they did the last time. And this is why we told them, slow down. There's no reason to force this through. The mayor literally announced this August 28th. And then they jammed this right through OLR. And you had the United Federation of Teachers have their health committee endorse this plan without seeing the contract for 30 days after they already voted on it. And it was redacted still. This is insane. Ellen, I found it interesting that dead doctors were listed in the online directories for the Aetna MAP rollout. I'm sure this will be the same for the United Healthcare Plan for actives and non-Medicare retirees. Actives and non-Medicare retirees, please fill out the survey. And yet, Ellen, you were with us in the early days of this. You know what we went through. There were people that doctors had been dead a long time. And so this is why we're saying you need not only just ask if your doctor's in the plan, are the doctors accepting new patients? Because if you get diagnosed with something tomorrow, let's say you're being diagnosed now, and the doctor says you need to go see, I don't know, an oncologist or a gastroenterologist, but then you look on the website, they show that they're in network, but they're not accepting new patients. Now what? And the nearest doctor that's accepting new patients is 75 miles away. Well, if you lived in an area like Florida or Iowa or Nevada where you really didn't have doctors, okay, maybe 75 miles might not be so bad. But if you're 80 years old, that's a problem because you're going to have a problem going 80 miles away or 75 miles away to find a doctor. So, yeah. Exactly true. I used their tool till I got a 0 result. And so, David, this is why I'm saying you have to use their tool. And if you go to the website, I literally just showed you, they updated the database again today because of all the feedback people were sending them. You're helping them fix the problem, which I understand you'd want to do. But by telling them that it needs to be fixed, you're not giving the organization any opportunity to go back and say, hey, this is still screwed up. We need to slow this down. So, but yes, please go back and keep checking the official tool because that's what you're supposed to use. Don't go to some other website. My son's therapist is on the list, but the psychiatrist is not. Right now, they're both GHI and coordinate with each other. How can I do more research because he's on med? So, Elizabeth, that is really important because the psychiatrist is the doctor that prescribes the medications, right? So what I want you to do is go back. There's under the search provider tool, there was another tool for behavioral mental health. Go look on that link and see if they're in there. If the doctor is currently in GHI, but not on this plan, I added that question to our survey. Please go in and answer that survey, okay? And then we'll be back in touch with you as the lawyers need us to do something else, right? So hang in there. Please answer those questions the way we asked. Let's see if I missed anything else. I asked teachers if they questioned, they were told we don't vote on this medical. Well, they could if they actually fought for it because it is a mandatory subject of bargaining. If they choose not to get involved in it, well, that's on them. It seems like they rushed this change through even faster than 4 years ago. Yes, they did. I would love an actual book with all the providers. Well, you know what, Katie? You might just want to call them and ask them if they'd provide that to you. That'd be interesting. So let's go back to some of the other pages that I wanted to show you as part of the homework. My son is active NYPD and said not a word about this. Well, I'm really sorry to hear that, but I'll tell you the NYPD supported our position on this, is that this wasn't ready, and I'll have more to say about that by next week. The Downstate 13 is all emblem everywhere else is United, Choice Plus. This is a New York City PPO plan. I think I remember you saying this a few years ago. Yep. Okay, so Menon and other candidates for speaker are already giving money to other council members to try to sway their vote for them as speaker. Marte is not doing this, but maybe our PAC should help him out. It's sad that council members are so easily bought, but if that's how the game is played, we might need to have our PAC help him for this. So that is a very dirty game that they play. Exactly what they do is this happened before. There's a City and State article about that. If you just Google how DC 37 got Speaker Adams elected for speaker, that article actually explains a lot about that. So I want to go back to the website because I want to go and show you our page. And let me go So back to our homepage. This is the new little button we put up here just to show you, remind you that there's a new pre-Medicare retiree page that's here. I also want to make sure you guys know that I've been putting press articles in here. So if you want to see where some of us have had some press, some of that goes in here. If I miss something, just let me know. I'll have no problem with adding it. Now, the homework tab. So I want to show you that I will put up the Yo Adrian in here because right now I have your first homework assignment is about calling for Marte. The second, and then, of course, doing your email campaigns to the city council to support 1096. I might revamp that a little bit for next week, but then down here is a new assignment, and it's called Email the MLC Leadership and Tell Them Jim Brozzi, UFOA, should be the MLC chair. And it says email Michael Mulgrew, Henry Garrido, Greg Floyd, Gloria Middleton, and Alan Klinger. And I forgot, actually, I should put Ellen Medwood in here because Ellen is the secretary. She goes in here too. Let them know that Greg and Henry should step aside and let Jim Brozzi lead the MLC, sign the petition. I have to actually write this petition before you guys start screaming at me. So I have not yet done that yet. I am working on it. And the reason why I want to, let me see if I can, I probably can't share that. So you always hear me talk about how the Municipal Labor Committee is literally violating the bylaws. They are violating the bylaws again in that one of the uniformed is supposed to be on the board. Right now, of course, you have Harry Nespoli was the chair and Harry stepped down. Then you had Henry Garrido, Michael Mulgrew, Gloria Middleton, and you have Greg Floyd. According to the bylaws, and if I could find where the heck I put it quickly, whoops. Let's see, it's Article 5 says there shall be a chair, a co-chair, executive vice chair, secretary, and treasurer, one of whom shall be a delegate from the citywide bargaining representative, that would be Garrido, and one of them shall be a delegate of members representing the uniformed forces in the fire, police, sanitation, correction departments. You don't see any of them in that 5, right? Right now there's a vacancy for chair. In addition to these named officers, there shall be 17 vice chairs. Now, I want to tell you, let's go back to this page, make sure I'm still sharing that. Yes, I am. And this is now why I think it's time to get involved to remind them that they are violating their own bylaws. I want you to go to this page. This is Jim Brozzi. He is from the Uniformed Fire Officers Association. And I want you, when you have time, to click here and play this video. And I want you to hear the impassioned speech that he made at the MLC meeting, explaining that what was happening in the forcing through of this plan, that they left the widows and children as collateral damage, that they literally left them on the table. The cost to protect these people was $3 million a year. It is a pittance in the realm of a $120 billion budget. There were several unions that spoke out about this. The Patrolmen's Benevolent Association, PBA, that's the NYPD. This union did. They had solidarity with most of their other uniform unions, and Local 3 also spoke out against it. The other unions, and you saw me put up that chart, which I revised the other day. I updated a little bit because I had a couple of errors. But you can see that even after this very passionate speech that this man made about what they did in destroying the stabilization fund and not committing to protecting the widows and children's fund. And what is that fund? That $3 million. As more people were passing away in the line of duty, the city had promised the widows, widowers, children of their dependent children welfare fund benefits. The city pays for their medical bills, their medical insurance, but the welfare fund was starting to tax the unions. And many unions, like the UFOA, for example, or the sergeants or the lieutenants or the captains, these smaller unions, this becomes a financial burden on their welfare fund. So instead of absorbing the full cost, it came out of the stabilization fund because it was identified that this would be a benefit for all citywide employees that died in the line of duty, that the stabilization fund could have taken care of their families for the welfare fund cost. Unfortunately, because Henry and Michael and Harry allowed this fund to be misused, you will now hear in this video Mr. Brozzi speak very eloquently and passionately about, and very politely, I have to say, because he probably has a little more decorum than I would have in keeping my cool in doing this. But he explained that this is the duty of the unions as a body, was to protect the members and their families in a situation in which they've lost their lives in the line of duty in service to the city of New York. And leaving them on the table without funding for a pittance of $3 million. He literally describes it like a chair off the deck of the Titanic. You have the Titanic being the entire city budget, the chair, which would symbolize the welfare fund cost of $3 million, and yet they still left them behind. So this is an absolute problem for this to be happening. And yet it hasn't been addressed. And by forcing this plan through, that's exactly what happened. And the Municipal Labor Committee, and this, I'm going to try to bring more of this out next week, admitted, Henry Garrido and Alan Klinger admitted that they intentionally, and I said this the other day, that the goal of the tripartite committee was to intentionally move away from the stabilization fund. They didn't tell Mr. Brozzi that. They didn't tell the sergeants that. They didn't tell any of the unions that that was a tripartite principal goal. And by doing so, leaving their welfare funds without support and leaving the widows and children's without funding. So this is why I said, this really needs to be done. We need to make sure that the MLC follows its bylaws. And I'll put a picture up there of that as well, that is a principal issue, that they're violating the bylaws, and this vacancy needs to be filled by a uniformed, and we believe Mr. Brozzi should have that spot. The other person that spoke very, very eloquently was another delegate known as Dave Nicholson for the PBA, and I was kind of breaking his chops, thinking maybe he would run, but I want to make this point. I do not have any communication with Mr. Brozzi, and I'm going to be totally honest with you. I text him. He doesn't respond back to me. That still doesn't mean I've lost any respect for him as a person and as a leader. Has he heard from me in the past? He hears from me. Does he listen to me? Yes, he does. Does he hear me? Yes, he does. He knows we fact check. He knows we put information out. He will probably be like one of the other people that doesn't like what I do, and that's totally fine. But I will tell you what I like about him is that while he may not always agree with me, he does hear me. And that I have to respect, because he does hear, where the others won't take the time even to say, I've heard you, or take the time to hear me at all. So they're also getting it from their own members. Mr. Brozzi does hear from his own people, and I know he does because they write me and tell me. And so for that, I want to ask you to watch this video, read this message that I left here for you, and then scroll down underneath and then email the MLC leaders to elect Jim. And so what I put down here was, dear Alan, Henry, Gloria, Greg, and Michael. And this does here, if you look in the email list, it does go to Ellen Medwid and it does go to Alan Klinger and Gloria Middleton and Greg Floyd, and say, I'm writing to support Jim Brozzi for MLC chair. And then, you just take this out. Like if you don't want this in here, just take it out and then put your own message in and make sure you sign your name. Because I think it's important that they know that we're watching, and also let them know too that the bylaws say in Article 5, and I'll put a little picture there so you could refer back to it. that Article 5 does require that there be a uniform member on the 5 panel of officers, and there right now there isn't. So that's the homework page. I will go in and add the petition so that people can sign the petition to support Mr. Brozzi running. And I honestly, I don't know if he wants to run, but I think sometimes people are shy away from leadership or taking a spotlight. But he was so, when you hear what he said, you tell me what you think. But I think we have to recognize people that we believe would make great leaders, who are great leaders, who others would benefit from their knowledge, experience, and expertise. So that's why I said that. I was told Mr. Brozzi would be told about my call. Thank you, Ellen. Yes, and so he'll probably think I'm being a pain in the ass, and that's okay. I am totally fine with that. Can we start a Brad Lander campaign? If you want to call Brad, sure, go right ahead. He might be busy, campaigning around with Mr. Mandami. I have no idea. What is this? According to Medicare rules, if you are in a Medicare Advantage plan and want to move to Medicare, regular Medicare, you must answer medical questions to the Medicare. No, you don't. That's not true at all. U.S. Army combat medic, I don't know who you are, but that is absolutely false. You just disenroll from Medicare Advantage and you move back to traditional Medicare, and you have to go to a supplement. Now, the issue that you may find, depending where you live, if you're disabled, if you're younger, what state you live in, how old you are, you may have some trouble getting a supplemental plan. And that supplemental plan, if you can get one, in some cases, depending on your personal situation, which I don't know, can be expensive, or you could be denied, because now you would be subject to underwriting technically if it's more than 12 months that you were in that Medicare Advantage plan. So there's a lot of things involved in that I can't really answer because I'm not sure where your question was coming from. You are brilliant. No, not necessarily, Pop Charlie. I just have a certain style. So do you get a facility fee and a doctor copay? In this plan, who knows? There's a whole list of copay charts. And yes, you do get a doctor copay if you're not using the ACPNY or HHC providers. And you will probably get a facility fee. Let's see. So that was our website. So please make yourself comfortable with going there. Also, let me know if you notice, if you're clicking our email and making a donation via our email, if you find it any easier to log in. It should also be recognizing your email. If you're logging in from that email, it should automatically log you into support to make your donation if you're not if you're clicking the link in our email that we're sending to you. Okay. And I sent one, I think yesterday. The survey. Okay. So if you've gone through that website and you did not, let me see if I have that open on my screen as well. Yes, I do. Okay. Let me share that with you. And I want to go here. Share this tab. Okay, and I want to put that on. Okay, so this is the survey that I created. Are your doctors and hospitals in the NYCE PPO plan? If you are on Medicare, stop. This is not for you. Remember, I keep saying this, and I've said this for a month now. Well, since the end of August. This new plan is not for Medicare people. If you're on Medicare people, just turn away for a few minutes. This plan is only for active workers and non-Medicare retirees or pre-Medicare retirees. See that right here? Oops. It just does not include you. This is only for actives and pre-Medicare retirees. So please then complete this form. If you need to double check the link, I gave you the link. It says, did you find all of your doctors and hospitals on the provider lookup tool for this? The official site, see, official site is there because it has to be the official website. How many of your providers are not in the lookup tool? 1 to 3, 4 to 7, 8 to 12. I probably should have put more because some of you seem to have a lot of doctors. And the providers you found in the tool, are they in network? So I want to know, are they in the network? If your doctors are in the current GHI network, are they also in this plan? We want to make sure that they're still in this plan because that's what they said. All the doctors you're currently seeing are in this plan. We want to know. And then what state's the doctor in, what state are you in, and then your contact info. That way, if we have more questions, we can, come back to you. Already you can see 206 people answered this survey in just the last couple of hours, which is pretty darn phenomenal in the course of things. And then I already talked about the homework page. So let's go back to the chat since that's all the news for this week. I did put up the fundraising goal the other day. Let me just jump over to that real quick and give you an update. I believe we were at like $109,883 for this last fundraising drive that we're doing. We're pulling it a little slow, so I'm hoping that does pick up.